All right, it has been more than a month since the Las Vegas massacre. Many people are still trying to find answers. There's more than a dozen survivors have now decided to sue. We'll talk to their attorney next. Let's take you back to that terrible day in Las Vegas. 14 people injured in that deadly shooting have chosen to sue. The concert goers were either hurt or shot trying to escape after that man opened fire, killing 58 and injuring hundreds more. These people are now suing Mandalay Bay, Live Nation, and a maker of the so-called bump stock, which reportedly made it far easier for the gunman to kill so many. MGM, which of course owns Mandalay Bay Hotel, tells us, in part, out of respect for the victims, we are not going to try this case in the public domain, and we will give our response through the appropriate legal channels. Live Nation, which organized the concert, tells us, quote, we continue to be devastated by the tragedy. We are, however, unable to comment specifically on pending litigation. We also reached out to Slide Fire Solutions. They're the maker of the bump stock. We did not hear back by airtime. But joining me now is Antonio Romanucci. He represents the 14 plaintiffs and filed their suits on their behalf. And before we get to the business end of things, how are your clients doing? It hasn't been that much time. I imagine some of them are still recovering from their wounds, much less the emotional trauma of what they've just endured.
Oh, thank you, and good afternoon, Michaela. And you're right. I mean, they're not doing well. I mean, my experience in these situations is that some people don't get over it for a lifetime. Some cope better than others. But right now, there has just not been enough time for any of them to recover or get any better from what happened on October 1st.
That is a day none of us will soon forget, they chief among us. Sometimes there's some closure that can come a bit through legal avenues, and that's where you come into play. Yeah. How did the decision come about for them to sue? And are they doing so collectively? Are they doing so on an individual basis?
That's a very good point, and you're right. There can be some closure even with starting the litigation process, because what we're doing, what the lawyers in this case hope to do, is actually get information, get answers that we don't have right now. There hasn't been much information coming out at all from the sheriff's office, from MGM, from Live Nation, and certainly not from the bump stock manufacturer, Slide Fire. So this is our attempt to gain knowledge, gain information, which does assist in the healing process. We're looking to recreate the timeline, which has been inconsistent so far. We don't know what it is. Is it 4 minutes? Is it 6 minutes? We don't know what it is. And so you're right. We are trying to assist in the healing process here.
What are you also hoping will come out of the lawsuits and as a result of them? Are you hoping that, and are your clients specifically hoping that there will be some changes, for example, with bump stocks, or perhaps to how security is handled by Live Nation or some of these big hotel chains?
Well, I think there are many things, many positive changes that can come out of this horrible tragedy. One of them is clearly we need improved security measures, not only for hotels, but also for venues that hold, concerts or outdoor venues, sporting facilities. But more importantly, I think it's time. We're done. We need to have the serious conversation about the Second Amendment in this country. When are we really going to understand that the ownership and possession of weapons as we knew it at a time when things have changed is no longer relevant? So there are many positive things that can happen here, but I'm hoping that the serious discussion and taking a hard look at the Second Amendment and what we can do about changing how Americans think about weapons.
It's not lost on me that you're speaking to us from Chicago, a city that has had its own fair share of gun violence. We all have heavy hearts about all of this. Please know that we send our very best to your clients. I know it's very little comfort, but there's so many of us that are sending love and prayers their way. They're going to need support for some time.
Thank you.
Antonio Romanucci, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Michaela. Have a good day.